Hey there, boys and girls. It's Ralph Garman, and you're listening to Talking Codswallop. Good choice.
Hello, everybody. This is Ming Chen from AMC's Comic Book Man. You might know me from the Tell 'em Steve Dave podcast and the I Sell Comics podcast. Listen, I love podcasting. I love talking, but what I really love doing is talking Codswallop.
Hey, I'm Alicia Witt.
I'm Daniel Portman from Game of Thrones. I play Podrick Payne.
I'm Ellipses, and you're listening to the Talking... Okay, I'm Mark Bernard, and you're listening to the Talking Codswallop podcast.
Hey man, it's Kevin Smith, Silent Bob, whose voice you were never used to hearing in the 90s until I started opening it up, man. And that's because I'm a podcaster and you're listening to a podcast, Talking Codswallop, right here, man.
Welcome to this week's Talking Codswallop. I am Gemma.
I'm James.
I'm Andy.
3, a full house. Woohoo! Glory, glory, hallelujah.
And Andy's gone. She started singing.
So James, how was the Builders last week?
It was really, really good.
Yeah?
Yeah, we are getting there. We'll get on to discussing certain topics and subjects shortly, later in the podcast.
Why can't we get onto it now?
You'll find out why in a bit. No, the house is slowly coming together. Things are getting where they should. It's a long-winded process, like most things to do with my life, but it is getting there. There is light at the end of the tunnel, or hole, depending on how you want to look at it.
Are they sexy holes?
They're glorious holes.
So Andy, how have you been this week?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you. It's all been kicking off in the ding in the last week. Yeah, we had the shooting 2 streets up from me. So that was
really?
Interesting.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Oh.
Someone popped 5 cats in someone's shoulder.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, you've got me beat, because when I was in Manchester the day before, someone had been stabbed. 2 stabbings we've had in Manchester. We had the crazy guy running around the Arndale Centre. And when I was in Manchester, I got off the train, I'm thinking, God, there's a lot of, there's armed police walking about, loads of police presence, and then I found out later, and there'd been a stabbing the day before.
Blimey.
Yeah, so, and then on the other side of the spectrum, Chick-fil-A opened up in the our shopping centre.
Heard about this.
And the LGBTQ RSVP crowd, blatant people, went down and protested. And now they're saying, oh, actually, after our 6-month trial lease, we're going to pull out. So a fucking result for the protesters there. Because I don't know, do you know about their stance on? Yeah, so it was like, that was a good showing of the people and a company backtracking, and their PR was perfect. It was like, this was always a trial, and we take this results away and then look to see how we roll out to the rest of the UK. And it's like, nah, you're not going to come back.
Yeah.
So so they are pulling out?
Well, they're not saying that, but I'll be very surprised if they open up another site, because if they do, they'll get protested, and I hope they continue to do so until their owners actually come out and say heartfeltly that they were wrong and they actually stand behind it.
Yeah. Wow. So they can Chick-fil-A off.
They can certainly Chick-fil-A off.
Yeah. That's good. But it's like powers of the people, so to speak. So, yeah. That's good. I'm not going to break into song. Don't worry.
Right, I can unclench.
Andy, I told you, if you need the toilet, you go before you record.
That's right, I've got my chemical toilet installed in the sofa now.
Okay, lovely. Yeah. It's like a little porta potty.
Little porta potty for me and the kitties.
Yes, lovely, beautiful.
Be careful of the chemical splashback.
Oh, that's fine. I'll just wipe my ass with a cat.
But burnt cheeks.
Yeah.
My week's been fine, thanks for asking.
Oh, hi Jem, how was your week?
Oh, it's good, thank you.
Didn't realise we had to include you as well. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I'm not just a host, I'm a participant as well. Yeah, I've had an interesting week. Started this morning, early hours of this morning, actually on the floor because I didn't realise that I was so close to the edge of my bed, and I rolled over in my sleep, which I quite regularly do, and face planted the floor.
Nice. So you had a proper falling dream.
Yeah. I did, basically, yeah. And luckily there's nothing like around me too much that kind of could hurt me or I could break or anything like that. But yeah, that was quite an interesting morning to start with.
Oh, Gemma.
So you're okay, you're not injured?
Oh no, other than my pride. But clearly my pride's not that hurt because obviously I'm bringing it up because I think it is funny. I'd rather laugh about it than sulk about it, you know.
So basically for Christmas, we're going to have to buy you one of those old people hospital beds where the rails go up.
Yeah, please do. It does.
The adjustable back so you can sit up and lie down.
I really want one of those beds. They seem amazing. You know, like if you've got a cough or a cold or whatever, and you really need to, or in your case, Andy, with your with your testicles, testicles, with your chest issues.
Yeah. What have you done to your testicles, Andy?
Yeah, well, I always tell you I put it over my shoulder. I didn't tell you exactly why I put it over my shoulder. I'm
he says, well, while one's in his mouth.
Our threshold.
Can you fit both in, though? That's the real question.
Well, only when I'm presented it through a hole.
Yeah. But yeah, lucky at James's house, he's got like holes, you know, through different rooms that you can actually kind of go all the way through, and then James could be like 3 rooms away and still do the deed.
Yep. I read the brochure. Apparently, it's like a vending machine. You can just punch in a number, and then whatever you like will be presented through the hole for you.
Yeah, unfortunately, not to burst your bubble, but you won't be getting some young, wonderful buxom lass. I'll be sending you like some rough-handed farm boy to deal with you, Andy. So
as long as it's clean.
Yeah.
I'm not having no battered sausage.
Well, because he's a farmhand, he might be covered in cow poo. How do you feel about that?
As long as the cow poo tastes of chocolate.
To be fair, you could treat it as lubricant, the cow poo, so you'll be all right.
Yeah. Although it wouldn't matter to you anyway, because you wouldn't be going down on yourself anyway, would you? It would be the farm boy who'd have to do that for you.
Yeah. I like to reciprocate.
What, on yourself?
On anyone, really.
What a gentleman.
Yeah, you get to an age you just can't get fussy, you know. Beggars can't be choosers.
Your view is just any hole is a goal, I'm assuming.
Oh yeah. You don't look at the mantelpiece while you're stoking the fire.
Yeah, all cats are grey in the dark.
Exactly. So continuing on from last week's theme of random conversations stringing into one another.
Definitely. We're now 3 people, which is obviously brilliant. This is what this podcast is all about. So let's move on to if we've got any Codswallop this week. Either of you got any Codswallop this week, which I'm guessing James possibly has because that's why he's not telling us stories yet.
Yeah.
Is that the case?
I do, yeah.
It's all a mystery to me, by the way.
I do have some Codswallop, yeah. You know,
okay.
You go away for a week, you're dealing with things, and these 2 complete nut jobs are besmirching your entire person. You know, discussing strange sexual practices and...
Who's these nut jobs that you're talking about?
I don't know. I'm sure that they will remain nameless.
But have you perfected your mojito? Because that's exactly what the listeners need to hear.
Oh, possibly. I'm working on it. I'm doing my best to get it to the required standard.
As long as you got a twizzle stick.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a pair of tweezers to tease it out.
Oh. That story was not fun. Especially as I saw the images of that story. I was going to be mean to the listeners and put up the pictures, and I thought, I really can't do that to anybody.
Let them find it themselves if they're that interested.
Yeah, just have a little Google.
Let them have the surprise. Yeah. It's educational.
Well, it's a bit like me, actually. Sorry, we will get onto your Codswallop in a second, but because obviously when this episode is dropped, James and I will be at London MCM Comic-Con. Woohoo! woo! And James will either be by the side of me or he'll be a million miles away. Who knows?
If you were to put money on this, I'm going to say I'm probably a million miles away or trying to get there.
Yeah, probably.
Can I make a wee suggestion?
A wee suggestion? Go on, yeah.
Just a wee suggestion there, laddie.
Okay.
I reckon James should wear a top hat.
Yeah.
And on that top hat should be a bright yellow umbrella that's stuck pointed up. So then Gemma just needs to look around for a bright... Because it's like when the Asian tourists come over, whether they're from China or South Korea, they're normally led around by a tour guide who's holding up an umbrella.
Yeah, it's true.
Now, clearly for James, he hasn't had enough practice, so I can't imagine that would be comfortable. So if you strap it onto a top hat, he's got that extra height.
See, you're assuming that whenever I go out, I actually hold my own umbrella. And only how somebody would do that for me, so it'd be very, very confusing to actually expect me to be able to do that. So, yeah, putting it on the old top hat, perfect sense.
Yeah.
That does make sense. But then you've got the risk of bad luck having an umbrella open indoors.
Didn't need to be open, it can be closed.
You can just be pointing upwards.
Okay.
And no one will laugh because they'll just assume James is a special person in cosplay that only he knows about.
I'll fit in perfectly.
I am Umbrella Man. Well, the reason why I bring it up is because we were talking about obviously like dodgy photos and things like that just mere seconds ago. I was speaking to Tim, who's one of our listeners, but also he's going to go to the Comic-Con as well. And he was telling me how he's going to be doing cosplay on the Saturday. So that'll be quite fun to actually see him in cosplay. And he said to me he's dressing up as a musician called Danny Sexbang. Now, I had no idea who that was, so I did a little Google. My little Google came up with many a picture of naked men having orgies. I was like, my eyes.
Print, Control P.
Yeah. And I was like, oh no, how do I get this off my history?
Mum, have we got any colour toner left?
Yes.
Is Staples still open? I need to print to A3.
They're all now featured very prominently on my ceiling.
Yeah.
With a mirror just alongside.
Yeah. What Gemma didn't tell you is, in fact, that she Googled it at work and she's got a meeting with HR tomorrow morning to explain it.
Yeah.
But this is what the customer told me their name was. I was just looking for their LinkedIn profile.
Danny Sexbang, honest.
Yeah. They're a performer.
So actually, did you not think there was a clue in the title? No.
No.
You don't stop me looking for Durex and they're a customer.
I mean, God, the kind of things that our factory actually produces, if we supplied to Durex, it would be a bit concerning.
Hey, it's 2019. People can do whatever they like in the bedroom.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
And Durex will capture that market.
Well, it's a lot of filters and aircon, well, not aircon units, but that kind of thing.
Well, you've got to keep cool in these situations, no prejudging.
Yeah. I just hope nobody from work actually listens to this episode, because I just did not tell anybody what I do for a living, because I said it all completely wrong. But there you go.
So you sell sex air conditioning for people to be bent over and spanked.
Yeah. Well, basically, they're not aircon units. So,
so what you're telling me, though, is you don't actually know what you sell?
Well, I just have to process the orders and look pretty.
Yeah. What's the SKU? Okay. And you wanted how many? All right.
Yeah. What it?
Bye.
Yeah. Okay, and now I'm done. I can file my nails. Ooh.
Now, Tracy, have you heard about Gordon? Oh.
Gordon is super sexy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's got two of his buttons undone. Have a look. Go on. No, not now.
Yeah.
He's watching.
The problem is, they're actually his trouser buttons.
Yeah. He's definitely smuggling budgies.
And again, resounding silence from James.
Yeah, I'm just trying to process the mental image.
Indeed.
Stroking his pointy beard. Indeed. Amusing, I find you. Let me write this joke down. Mother.
Jeeves. James, you need to learn how to mock both me and Andy, I have to say.
Yeah.
To be fair, I'll let you both do a good enough job of it on your own, so...
Or at least put us to shame with your voice work.
Yeah.
I'll work on your accent, yeah.
Okay. Well, it ain't bloody hard to do mine. Oh, that was not mine at all.
Where the hell have you come from? You're doing...
I don't know, that was more your accent.
I was just like, you can't even do your own voice, which is quite worrying, really.
I've always thought she was a bit schizophrenic.
Oh, I am.
You know when you said you fell out of bed, are you sure you didn't have, like, quite a little bang of the head at that point?
To be honest, if I had banged my head, it probably wouldn't have made any difference. It's like I said at work today that, because I was just larking around with this woman and saying, obviously, somebody I work with, and said, "Oh my God, are you losing your marbles?" And she's like, "You're so funny." And I was, to which, of course, I said, "Yes, I am." And and then she goes, "Well, are you losing your marbles?" I said, "You can't lose what you didn't have."
So, doesn't compute.
Oh, dear. So, James, what's your Codswallop this week?
No, really, it was just these two annoying fuckwits who've been taking the mickey out of me.
Oh, was it? Oh. Well, at least you're here to defend yourself today, because you're doing such a good job.
Just proving us right, Gem.
I know. You know what, as James is listening to this, walking around London MCM, he's going to be punching me in the arm. I'm going to be black and blue, people.
Yeah, so if you see a tall man punching a dwarf...
It's all part of a cosplay thing, honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. A 5'11" dwarf.
Yeah. Next to a 6'2.5" man wearing a top hat and a yellow umbrella.
Yeah, so basically they just assume that we're doing Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah.
Because, you've got to remember, Gemma, you're ginger, yes?
Yes, I am. Well, at the moment I'm brown, but yes, I am naturally ginger.
So ginger, soulless, Oompa Loompas, yeah, you can see how it all marries up.
James just called me soulless, Andy.
Yeah.
I'm not soulless.
I thought we'd come to the conclusion that gingers have no souls.
Yeah. That's why we hide.
Is that why you burn in the sun? Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Ordered lobster.
Yeah, so they can see themselves in the mirror, but the reflection is that bright that they actually have to close their eyes so they can never see themselves. It's bad.
It's so true. Well, I've told you about how my skin dazzles me in the sunshine, so.
like the Twilight vampires.
Yes, well, not quite as sparkly. More dazzling than sparkly. Yeah.
I don't know where I was or what I was doing, but I do remember towards the end of summer.
Wait, you don't know where you were or what you were doing? So I'm a little confused how we can help you on that one, but go on.
Yeah.
James has got his sass on. James has got his sass on.
Go girl.
I love it. Carry on, James.
Yeah. So it was just as Jim was talking, I just remember walking past this sort of middle-aged couple with their teenage daughter. Mm. They were bronzed, and she was pasty. And it wasn't like she was dressed as a goth. She was dressed all trendily, but like she'd just hidden herself away all summer. Because her parents were beautifully bronzed, and she was just pasty white. So, yeah.
Weird.
That was it, really. So, yeah.
Oh, well, there's a cut.
Beep, beep, beep. Andy is reversing. Beep. So, Jen, do you have any Codswallop for this week?
I do, actually.
Tell us more.
Okay, well, I have multiple ones.
Oh, strap in.
Well. Who were misses? Go on.
Are you ready?
We thought it was filthy last week. It gets even filthier this week. Carry on.
Well, I didn't have Codswallop last week, so I had to make up for this week.
Okay.
So, one of my Codswallops is petrol station etiquette. So, when you're at the pump and you're filling up your car, as obviously everybody in the world is kind of familiar with, how long do you think is a reasonable amount of time for you to be stood at that pump filling up your engine?
Depends how much fuel the car needs.
And how fast the petrol is dispensing.
And how you paid for it.
Okay, but bearing in mind you want a full tank, it's 1.4 litre. Yeah, I'm guessing that. So, whatever. And also you're paying at the pump and the machine works just fine. It works normal.
Okay.
How long do you guys reckon?
I don't think it takes a very long time to fill my car up, so I'm not a clue, I'm afraid.
I reckon about 5 minutes.
5 minutes. Okay.
Yeah, probably about 5 minutes, yeah.
Okay, no, that's fine, because I was thinking 5 minutes too. And that wasn't just to put you on the spot, that was just to build up for this. This guy took 10 minutes.
Okay.
To fill up his car. And there was a build up of traffic sort of behind because it's one of those, like a petrol station. So it's low in price. So everybody wanted to be there kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
Was he driving a Panzer by any chance?
A what?
A Panzer?
What's a Panzer?
Panzer tank.
Oh, right.
It took 10 minutes. Was he driving a Panzer?
No, it was just I'm going to do a girly thing and say a regular car. So.
It was red. It was a red car.
Yeah.
It was black.
Yeah. Was it big? Was it small? Was it smallish?
It was medium-sized.
Medium-sized.
Yeah. So I'd say it was safely, at most, a 2-litre car.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So talking a good 50 to 60 litre tank.
Yeah. But still, we've established that would probably still take about 5 minutes. Yeah.
Well, probably 6 minutes because of the extra literage.
But this guy, seriously, he was stood at the petrol pump and you could almost see, and it didn't help because I was really hungry as well. So it was kind of like I was getting those hangry pains, sort of thing, or whatever. But it's kind of, he was literally stood there and you could sort of see that he was just squeezing the handle very slowly so it would fill up really slowly. And I was just like, I never beep my horn, but oh my God, I just wanted to beep my horn, wind my window down and say, Belland, move.
What happens if he just had a furious session and his hand was rather weak?
I was going to say, they sound like the start of a porno or something. Squeezing the handle very slowly.
Yeah.
Maybe I didn't take that into consideration.
It's 2019, Gem. You have to.
Yeah.
It's the law now. Everyone has to be given the benefit of the doubt for their own specialness.
Yeah, I mean, people are marrying bridges now, so,
Yeah.
Well, I think, what, you've pulled me off my pedestal here. I might get off my high horse with this one. I didn't take any of that into consideration, but still, at the same time, I was hangry. I was really, really hangry. So.
But there's no place in the world for pump shaming.
Yeah, it could be a sexual thing for this guy, couldn't it? It could be one of those things that really gets him off.
Yeah. Maybe that was his glory hole.
Yeah.
It wasn't the hose he was holding.
Yeah.
Okay, next one is, it is officially cold season, as everybody is aware.
It is cold.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, as you both know, I don't like a certain thing. It is also nose-blowing session.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I'm sat in the office cringing and squirming at the fact that there's about 14 people in the office all blowing their noses at different times. I'm like, I just can't cope with it. It's horrible. This is a very personal one to me, but this is so horrible.
There are worse things you could hear. It's only, nose blowing.
It really isn't, though. It's so horrible because it's almost like you can hear the snot bubbling in the tissue. It's horrible.
You should record it and then you could edit it into some kind of song.
Into a song?
Yeah, because it'd be different pitches, so it'd be a nice little backing track to one of your little melodies that you like to subject us to.
Yeah, I might do that one day if I'm not vomiting in the corner.
He's right.
Consider it therapy.
Yeah, he's right. You need to record it. You do as aversion therapy. You build up over time and listen to it.
Just.
Oh, Andy, please.
Yeah, you just you get into bed, you pop your little earbuds in, press play, and then go off to sleep, and then it all sinks in, and you wake up and you're magically cured.
And soon you'll start liking the noise.
Yeah. Please blow your nose for me just once more.
You find yourself sneaking up to old people in winter.
Yeah.
It'll become a new fetish of mine. Oh, God.
Yeah. You'll be pulling your O-face, your Renaissance O-face.
Yeah, but it isn't going to be an O-face. It'll be this picture of somebody in mid-sneeze. It goes through the air. Squirting everywhere.
I'll be 5 minutes. I'm just going to the toilet. Just need my paper.
At that point, Andy, I wouldn't need one of those. All about the fingers.
As she slides off of her chair. Just push me along, it's fine.
Oh dear. Oh God. And my final one. And this one might bring Andy on board slightly. Notifications on your phone that you can't get rid of.
Ping. Yep.
Yeah, so basically, I mean, I've managed to get rid of it now, so I'm kind of at ease with it now. But this was like earlier today. There was, like, obviously on your phone, you've got the little telephone bit where it said that there was like a notification that I'd missed a telephone call. And I kept doing the usual process of getting, opening it up, move, sort of switching between, missed calls and whatever, to get rid of it as I normally would. But this icon, this little notification would not disappear. It was so annoying.
Oh, I know. I've had that a few times where it's sticking, you're swiping, and like, come, just fuck off. I know.
But you get it on. I've had that on the Amazon TV thing where it kept telling. It just wants to constantly tell me like the ability to add this new feature. I'm not interested, but it won't bloody go. So I'm with you, Gemma. I get it. It's annoying.
Okay. Oh, yes.
Yeah, no.
So it took 3 Codswallops, but I got them on board eventually.
That's it.
Just with one
2
notification.
to warm up with.
Oh, but it is so annoying, isn't it? Because it's like, and that's why, with dating sites and things like that, like with Plenty of Fish and things, I had to come off of the app. And, well, I came off the page anyway, but come off the app because literally you would constantly see all these notifications that you couldn't get rid of because you'd then have to pay for it to get rid of them. And it was
yeah, most of these notifications are just complete bullshit anyway, so I just...
Yeah.
And it's like, so-and-so's done such and such on this. And you're like, really?
Yeah.
Was that worth disturbing me?
Yeah. Or, yeah, it's just like, really. I'm just going to go with, yeah, you're right.
This isn't like a serious one, but sometimes, like yesterday, I went out for a little run and I had my phone on me and I had my earphones plugged in.
You were careful when you were running though, weren't you?
I was being Captain Sensible.
Okay, good.
And then you two jumped into the group chat and started messaging.
Well, I was supposed to be editing.
Yeah. Well, no, this was probably about 6 o'clock-ish.
Oh, okay.
So it was only like 3 or 4 messages, but obviously, with the notifications, not only does it come up on the screen, but it pings. And I haven't quite got myself around to investigating the settings. Jem knows all about me and my effort into resolving issues. To basically mute the notification sound when podcasts are playing. So I'm listening along, and so every third word I'm hearing ting.
Sorry.
So like blah 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 ting blah blah ting blah ting 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 ting. It's like, but at one point you guys timed it perfectly, where I won't quote it verbatim because I can't remember, but basically when the lines along the lines of, and he said such and such, pling. And it used to happen to me on the sat nav. I turned off on Waze. I turned off the directions because, like, basically, I'll do the same journey every day. So I don't need the directions. I just need to know if you're going to tell me that the route's going to change.
Yeah.
But you'd be listening to podcasts, and it would be like, and and Trevor turned round to Tracy and said, "Turn left at the next junction." So those little things, those little interruptions, they do bugbear me, and especially when I can see it on the screen as well. It's like an OCD thing.
I think though, it's the case with my phone, but if you silence your phone, as in with the iPhone, you just click a button and it literally goes to silent. You don't hear the notifications.
Exactly, and my problem is that I forget that I've turned it on to do not disturb or onto silent, and then like last night I got an escalation call at 2:00 that I slept through because my phone was on silent.
Maybe you need to just get 2 telephones, and one for work and one for socialising on.
So, like a drug dealer.
I did, and I gave up my work phone because I didn't want to carry around 2 work phones.
Oh, well, that's on you then. That's on you. That's not on me and James.
Well,
that's on you. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, for sure. No, I don't mute it because of that. But no, it was just like it's the notifications that come through audibly at the wrong time.
And at least, look at it this way, at least you weren't jogging and suddenly like screamed when it, made the pinging noise. It wasn't a wee involuntary noise shock that you had, so.
Yeah, no.
Which is what I envision you'd be saying. You run on going like, ah!
Yeah. Fuck! Shit! Twat!
Yeah. Well, so just assume you've got Tourette's then.
Yeah, or if you're listening to like a comedy podcast and like, I'll use my case that walking down a street and, and it's like a comedy podcast, so it's going to be funny. And I usually am just like wetting myself with laughter with no sound, because I know how stupid it's going to sound if I start laughing out loud, but I can't stop my face from laughing.
Yeah. No.
That reminds me of my most not my most mortifying, but it was a bit of a social faux pas.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm running along the Rhine in Bonn, and they have the what are they called? The steampunks. So there's a steampunk convention, and I was out doing my long run on a Sunday, and they were all milling around on the promenade. I'm listening to TSD, and just as I'm coming up to them, someone said something funny, and I've just snorted, and I've been looking at them in the eye as I do this, because I'm looking at, oh, you look good, oh, no, that's quite good, and I go.
Did you stop and just say, it's okay, I'm listening to a comedy podcast, but obviously in German?
Yeah. I should look, tut mir leid, ich höre einen Podcast. No, I just kept going, like,
No, I know exactly.
Note to self: listen to economics and general news when running.
Because when I'm walking, this is like a stupid question, I'm sure, but when I'm walking and I'm listening to a podcast and something makes me laugh, I almost lose my body, my walking pattern doesn't stay the same. I'm almost doubling over with laughter and stuff like that. When you're running and you're laughing, is there any difference in your running pattern?
Nothing is. I very rarely belly laugh to that extent. So it's normally like a...
Oh, okay. So you've never had a Captain Birdseye experience?
No, nothing's ever made me Captain Birdseye.
I mean, as long as you don't lose bladder control, you're okay.
I do after every 5 to 10k. I have to go and find a bush. But that's just age.
Well, you know that they can get adult nappies now.
Yeah, but they chafe when you run.
Ah, that's a very good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but that's one thing that's missing from the runners market is a sort of bladder, basically.
Yeah.
That you can relieve yourself into.
Yeah.
It'd be like one of those, it'd be a tube thing, wouldn't it?
I mean, I know top athletes do just wee themselves or poo themselves in Paul Radcliffe's case.
Oh, yeah. Poor woman.
But there must be a product that's like that, because you can get those, you get hose things, don't you, like bladder hoses, so it must be a doable product.
Again, if you had been involved in Gemini's discussion on research, you would know that I don't go down very far. If it doesn't come up in the first 3, then it's like, oh, fuck it.
We are still talking about a bladder thing, right?
Yeah, I've tried searching for runner's bladder, and and other permutations of said thing. And I was like, oh, do you know, I don't want it that much.
I think that's gone completely over your head, hasn't it? When you're saying you don't go down too far.
Oh, sorry, yeah, the planes are returning.
Sorry, James, I didn't hear it. Sorry. But when, yeah. There you
James
go.
said honey.
No, there you go. That was a real laugh. I needed to build up with a fake laugh, and then you guys laughed and then reminded me how to laugh. So I can insert my laugh after your very good joke there, James. Don't worry.
Yeah.
All right. Do it for you.
Screw you. Keep going.
No, I was serious. I wasn't joking.
Screw you guys.
Fucking hell. Not really. I love you.
Oh, I've just got 2 quick coddies.
Okay.
Wallops.
Okay. I vaguely remember that I wanted to say something a second ago, but there you go. Never mind. Carry on.
Oh, no.
Oh, no,
We'll sit here and wait for you.
Just very quickly, what I was going to say is that James, Andy's 40th birthday is coming up soon, so maybe we could get him a runner bladder or whatever they're called for his birthday.
We'll just get him some tenor dependable men's pants. He'll be fine.
Oh, yeah, that'll be good.
And some anti-chafing gel.
Yeah, we can. We'll sort out the Andy.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
You can piss and shit to your heart's content.
That's it.
Won't even have to get out of the chair.
That's it. Well, I won't even need to find the nearest bush, you know, so people see me running and to see that shit face, then you know what's happening.
And we get you
satisfied look you get.
Yeah.
And we get you some cinnamon as well. What was that whole cinnamon thing about again? That when you're single in a certain age, you have cinnamon smelling stuff or something.
What?
What? Don't worry.
Was that on your other podcast?
No. It was a conversation that you and Lucy had once on like Facebook or Twitter or something like that about it was like cinnamon shower stuff.
Is it like candles or something?
It was candles, but it was like shower stuff and things, and it was like it was. Oh, please just ignore this because it's coming out. Don't worry,
Okay.
It's irrelevant.
I'm intrigued as to what it is. So
I'll let you know.
I didn't know James had a scented candle fetish.
shh.
You passed with a bit of sandalwood.
Sandalwood, no, it's vanilla all the way, and it's possibly some spicy cinnamon.
I don't like the smell of vanilla. It smells a little bit wet knickery to me.
Okay, maybe that's why I like it then.
I haven't smelled that many moist gussets.
Oh, is it just me then?
I can't say that's a fetish of mine.
But I am a super smeller, so there you go.
True.
That's probably why. Anyway, Andy, short but sweet. What are your Codswallops this week?
So my first one is fly tippers.
Okay.
Oh yes,
Because I've noticed there has been a trend over, since all the new green initiatives that, you get charged now for taking household waste to landfill,
Yeah.
you do.
tips. But you've also got the white van man who's always done it. Yeah, I'll clear your house for a £5, no worries. And you pay it, and then it just gets dumped in like woodland or on paths. So around where I work, that's a big fly tipping area. And the amount of times I've gone out for a run, and I've had to run into the road because some builder has decided rather than paying and charging the customer to drop it off properly, he's just going to reverse it onto the verge and just dump rubble and household items all over the path. And it's just, there's no need for it. Just either pay for it to be disposed of properly or don't do the work.
Yeah. I mean, builders and, they get paid enough, basically, don't they, to be able to, well, they can pay the extra, they can charge the extra, can't they, to get rid of this stuff?
Yeah, and people should be savvy enough to know that if your builder's charging you £100, he's not making any, if he's doing it properly, he's not making any money because it's going to cost him £100 to drop it off of the tip.
Yeah.
You want the stuff clearing, you want the work done, you pay for it as it should be paid for.
Yeah.
But the problem they get is they can't actually take stuff to the tip now. My builder was telling me that you can't actually, they're not allowed to do it. Hence why you are getting fly tipping.
And
then hire a skip.
Well, no, that's what I did. We hired a skip.
Yeah.
I mean, a skip is okay if it's the case that there's quite a lot of items, but if it was just one or two items that you can't dispose of at the, I'm against fly tipping as well, but like if you're not going to get a skip for just like a couple of lamps and a sofa or whatever, are you? But, you pay 25 quid to the council, leave it on the curbside, and they come collect it. I have legitimately seen empty cardboard boxes because some lazy fucker can't fold it down and put it in their recycling bin. So you've got these big, they've obviously gone to Dixon's, PC World, whatever it is, bought all their white goods. Yeah.
Does Dixon still exist, Andy?
Yeah, they do. Dixon's Carphone Warehouse and then PC Currys.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think Dixon still exists.
Yeah, Dixon's Carphone Warehouse. They merged.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, and then it's Curry's PC World. Yeah, so I've seen people just dump like cardboard boxes. You've got curbside recycling.
Yeah, and you've also got upcycling as well. So there's a load of people out there that are actually doing the whole upcycling and making a bench, a small bench look like an amazing sofa or, whatever. There's so many people out there that are going to be willing to like put down, a tenner or whatever for that thing that you want to get rid of.
Yeah, and I get it. There are some households who are in good faith paying probably what they should do for a proper job, and there are rogue traders to, steal from the BBC watchdog.
Yeah.
Who are, going, rather than dealing with this properly as a licensed person, I'll just dump it down this, let the council deal with it. And I just think maybe these people should just have their legs cut off at the knees.
Harsh but fair.
Yeah. 8 is an object lesson.
Yeah.
But I also think the government and local authorities also have their part to play in this because they've priced it out.
Yeah.
To discourage you, but there's no viable alternative. So their charging mechanisms have kind of caused this problem to be worse than it already was, even when it was free.
I think part of the problem you've also got is the wait, though, because when I was trying to get the counter to get rid of some of my stuff, I would still be waiting. This was just to get one thing removed, a fridge. And I would still be waiting now. I end up having to go through a private company to do it.
Yeah.
Who have probably fly tipped it.
Yeah.
Potentially.
So I was hoping someone had just come past, drive past and take it. No, look, nothing.
No.
And I'm not a big proponent of the big state, but it's times like that I think, why wasn't there CCTV cameras just up everywhere?
Yeah, but then I suppose if it is in a certain area that, well, I suppose if it's happening as a regular occurrence, yeah, maybe they should.
Or even, and I'm being a bit extreme here, but just let there be no piece of land in this country that's not covered by CCTV.
Yeah, I think that's a little bit extreme, though.
But it would solve the problem and you'd catch the perpetrator.
All right, Mr. Orwell.
Yeah, if you're not doing anything wrong, you've got nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
Where's my ID card?
What are you so worried about? Let's get that police check done. But I don't want to have a police check. What have you got to hide?
Well, I mean, they did, CCTV did ruin the fun times on Weymouth Beach. So,
Yeah.
That's kind of put an end to
but
that.
Children don't need to be seeing that.
Yeah.
At night. It's nothing more romantic than at night with sand in your ass.
And seagulls biting you.
Yeah.
Fending off those octopus.
Yeah, and to be fair, Gemma's relationship with seagulls isn't exactly great, is it?
No.
Yeah, turn your head to the side because you're vomiting because you're so drunk. And then realise that you've now got sand all over your face. I'm not talking from experience, everybody. I really am not.
Talking about a friend.
Yeah.
Wink. Sure you're not.
Yeah. Oh dear. And what's the other one?
The last one's kind of linked to your technology one.
Okay.
Which escapes me now. Oh yes, Google and the Alexa products.
Mm-hmm.
The Hey Google, Hey Siri, Hey Alexa.
Yep.
So for some unknown reason, Google's search assistant will randomly just cut in when people are saying things on podcasts.
Oh, really?
Really?
And it's not okay Google. Sometimes it can be just okay, but sometimes it could be random things like pleb. You know, it'll just go, how can I help? I'm like, you can fucking shut up, love, and get back to the fucking podcast. So I just sit there stony-faced waiting for it to sort of wait for me not to speak and then cancel. I'm like,
I desperately want to have an Amazon whatever they're called, and just so that it answers pleb.
yeah. And that's the most frustrating thing. If you go onto the Google forums and say, how, you know, can you please allow us to change our keyword?
Yeah.
They're like, no, just get it to learn your voice. I ain't got time to train Google how to listen to me. You know, so, you know, can I not just say Willy Wanker and then that sums it, because Willy Wanker is not something that crops up in everyday conversation, you know. Hoppity flub, you know, and he goes, how can I help you?
Willy Wanker. Hello.
Yeah. Hi.
Andy should email them that as his suggestion. I want to rename it Willy Wanker.
Yeah.
Oh, please.
Honestly, it's a seller.
Please, you know what, Andy, please, between now and next recording, can you possibly do that? And then see what and read out what their response is?
No, because they don't respond on the forums.
Yeah, but send them an email.
Send them a proper email.
Please.
No, because there's a whole list that I want to send to Google, and I don't want to besmirch my name before I'm ready to send in all my quote-unquote suggestions.
Hashtag pusshole of the week.
No, that's just not the hill I want to die on with Google.
But I want to call it Willy Wanker.
Yeah. After you fixed a number of other product issues. Because, you know, we're sponsored by, well, not sponsored by, but our network is Podbean. So before Podbean, I was on Google Podcast, and they'd only just released their app last year.
Yeah.
And they'd obviously just looked at, you know, Spotify, Podcast Addict, Podbean, looked at all that and went, do you know what? Nah, we don't need any of the features that they've got.
Mm.
So they basically just give you the podcasts and you can subscribe. But, you know, like in Podbean and other apps, you can go, my playlist is the unplayed episodes or downloaded or most frequent. You know, they've only got key playlists that you can go in.
Yeah.
And Google like, nah, you don't need playlists.
Yeah. I remember all the hassle you had with Google, because that was must have been about a year and a half ago that yeah, it must have been about
when you changed networks, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, and and I had angry messages from Andy as a listener going, "Why can't I get you?" He wasn't being angry really, but
I get this free podcast, and I'm upset because I am no longer getting my free podcast. Where is my free podcast?
And I'm like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. I almost want to find the messages because they were so lovely. The messages were so lovely back in the day.
Hi.
What happened?
Yeah.
I think
you said you wanted to be my friend.
God damn it.
Yeah.
But no, it was like literally because I had to, because obviously we had to Chase helped us, didn't he? James.
He did.
Yeah. To, actually get us onto Google Play or whatever it's called. Yeah.
But that was funny because it was such a round robin conversation that I was having with Google. It's like, you have put an application on my phone that allows me to subscribe to podcasts. One of the podcasts has changed providers. I cannot get the new feed. Mm-hmm. Can you help? Oh no, it's not available to outside the US and Canada. Right, let's start this again. I am in Europe. You have put this on here. You have allowed me to do this. You know, it's like, but it's not available outside the US. And okay, bye.
At that point, I'm just sort of, I'm rocking back and forth because I'm thinking, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm completely on my own. I'm so scared. I've got James, but he can't help me with certain things. And to be, you know, a good friend, I'm going to shout out my good friend Beach from Australia because he helped me immensely with that. But yeah.
G'day, mate. Can you do me a favour? Can you just change the feed on this podcast for me?
No, to be honest, because we nearly lost our, temporarily lost our iTunes account for a good 48 hours, which was a bit scary because anybody could have come in and taken the name at that point. But, luckily we worked quite quickly because of the asshole who was also on the network. I've never really told the network story. Maybe I will one day. In your memoirs. Yeah, because I don't want to bring it all back up and negativity and stuff. But the other asshole who was in charge of the network. I was going to say it and then I thought no. He just decided that delete it all. And I was like, oh, so you're not going to give me like a grace period to get things changed over? Thanks.
No, I'm going to throw my toys out the pram.
Yeah.
Control-Alt delete.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like, well, we've been talking for nearly an hour, guys, about Codswallop again. Which is impressive.
Well, 15 minutes for the time you've taken all the edits out.
There's no edits. We've already established I'm not even moving my laugh now because James was me.
Yeah.
Basically, it's going to be like 2 minutes a word and then just complete silence.
Yeah.
So, as I mentioned at the very beginning, like with James, you and I are going to London MCM. And, obviously, Andy, you have to put your fingers in your ears if you don't want to hear this. But no, I was curious.
Oh, God, not more nerds.
Yeah, you love it. I was just curious. Is there anyone in particular that you are looking forward to seeing?
Possibly Tara Strong. That'd be pretty cool. And Troy Baker.
I'm sorry to ask this, but who's that?
They're two voiceover people that are at it.
Okay.
So that'd be pretty cool if I could see them. But I don't have a clue what they're like. I mean, I've not booked anything, so I'm just going to take my chances, see if there's any low queue levels, but I'm not expecting it because I think there'll be quite a large turnout for them because they've done like Batman stuff, so people flock to that. And I think I read something about there's some authors there as well, so.
Yeah, I saw that. And there's also tattooists there as well.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go down, I will go down that aisle, but, column, whatever, because this is massive. So this Comic-Con is bigger, I think, than, London Film and Comic-Con. So, yeah, we're definitely going to get lost. But, so keep your phone in your hand.
We're gonna be lost and die of heat exhaustion.
But James will have plenty of water in his first class ticket.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Yes, you surmised correctly. I am travelling first class again. So, yeah.
Yeah. And, and I will take 2 bottles of water and a couple of orange juices, if that's okay.
That's if I can get to these things, yeah. You missed that one last time, Andy. I was like a drugs mule, but for food and drink.
Yeah.
Oh, if you can get food as well, that would be even better.
Well, I'll get breakfast on the train, I think, and in the lounge, but...
Oh, yeah. Well, if you can double up on it for free,
I'll see what I can do. I'll see what I can do. When I get banned from Virgin, because I'm just filling this bag up with food.
Well, just remember, James, as I like to say, it's 2019. You can claim to have an invisible friend, and there's nothing they can say about it.
That's true.
Just say my co-host is really hungry.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, what I'll do is if they really challenge me, I'll say that I'm having a moment. I'm now called Jane, and they really can't do anything about it at that point. So, gender fluid, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you'd make a beautiful Jane as well.
I'll say ignore the stubble, gender fluid, baby.
Yeah, exactly. They cannot assume. Do not assume.
No.
Gem.
Yeah, you were going to go with gender then, weren't you?
Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
I was, because as our female representative on this podcast.
Yes. Did you just assume my gender?
Yeah.
I did.
Ooh.
I did. Oh my God.
No, that's good because I am female. That's fine.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know if this might be too controversial, and if you want to, cut it out.
I think at this point you know that I will answer most things.
Yeah. So, have you seen what Unilever have done on their Always packages?
Yes, I have, and it's really annoying.
What have he done, sorry?
So basically, I mean, Gemma, I don't want to mansplain.
Carry on. Yeah, because you're mansplaining to a man, so it's not a problem. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you get it wrong, she can pat you on the head and say, there.
Yeah. She can mumsplain.
She can ruffle your hair and say, don't you worry, love. Don't you worry your pretty little head about it.
That's it. Now you go and run and play with your Lego. Let the adults talk.
Well, let's face it, you're not going to play with Lego. You'll play with something boring.
Oh, no. I loved Lego and my Hornby Railway set.
Oh, okay, cool. See, then you would enjoy Comic-Cons because Lego is like a big feature.
Yeah, but I liked Lego from the 80s before they started making computer games and films.
Yeah, but films and computer games, that is also at Comic-Cons.
Before they, not after they.
Oh, right, okay, I thought you meant that computer games and whatnot had replaced the Lego. That's what I thought you meant, sorry.
Yeah.
Ah, no.
You'd be throwing the Millennium Falcon stuff across the room in anger.
Yeah.
Anyway, mansplain away.
Mansplain away, yes. So...
Mansplain away.
Mansplain away with me. So, since day one, I imagine, I don't know the history of the branding, but always the sanitary towel. Well, did they just do sanitary towels? Did they, under that brand,
yes.
Was it tampons as well?
No, I don't think they do. I think it is just pads. Yeah. Like one of the ones that I dropped on the floor in a club at age 19 to 20. Yeah.
It's my plaster. I've had stitches.
Yeah.
On the packaging, they've always had the Venus symbol.
Okay.
I guess that's really just for us poor men folk, so we don't go, oh, look at that nasty cut.
Yeah.
Oh, that's ultra absorbent.
Anyway, go on to your point.
Yeah. So, rightly or wrongly, some people from the transgender community, who are now transitioned from female to male, are upset with the Venus symbol, and have they demanded it to be removed, or they just kicked up enough? Yeah, so they've demanded it to be removed, and Unilever went, all right, okay, as of Jan, you won't see it anymore. But now the feminists have got the counter argument that it's rightly or wrongly marginalising women, or I forgot the exact argument.
But it's a feminine product.
Yeah.
And regardless, and okay, I'm going to tread a bit carefully here. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut in there, but
no.
Yeah. It is a feminine product for women who require it. So
Yes.
by which I mean that you've got obviously the older generation of females who don't require it anymore. Because they've had, what's it called? I've completely... Menopause, yeah. So they've had menopause, so they don't require it anymore. So it's kind of like, it's that massive gap in between though, of, from teenage years to sort of late 40s.
Middle age.
Yeah, sort of age. Yeah, that, they do require it. Now, obviously I can see what transgender people are saying about it, but if you are transgender from a male to a female, you are not going to require this.
That's true.
I think if they're pre-op, they do. But so if they haven't gone the full...
No, I'm talking if they're male to female.
Yeah, and it's the female to male are the ones who have kicked off.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So they're still, biologically speaking, if that's the right term, they've still got the uterus, and they've still got all the reproductive organs. So, so they're still getting their periods, but they identify as a man. They may have gone through hormone work, but they're still menstruating. So
yeah, and that's fair enough as well, because it is a tricky subject to discuss, sort of thing. But it is. Yeah, I can see that it would be awkward for them. Don't get me wrong. I can see it from that point of view. But then once they have done that transition, they're not going to require the product anymore. So why, as I'm not a feminist, and I've never really been a feminist, but obviously there's certain things that I do sort of strongly believe in. But if there's a product out there it's kind of more to just kind of give us a little nod, because it's gone from the age where, say, my gran, for example, had to have a bit a bit of tissue stuck to her undergarment, her knickers or whatever.
Yeah.
And then, it's got to my day and age where we've got so much comfort now that we can just sort of move around as easily as possible. We haven't got to take a week off school or work or whatever because, and it's kind of like, it's just a nod to...
Especially when you've still got cultures where, I think it's still in Nepal, where the women are still, when they're menstruating, they have to go to a different hut.
Yeah.
And that, and it's all the issues, I think is all based on religious grounds, basically. That's, that women were seen as unclean when they're on their period. And it's just, it's odd, and it's, but the thing struck me is that you still get the value-added tax applied to it. And I think that's disgusting.
Yeah, that's just going to be, we can't fight everything.
No. But on the whole symbol thing, it leaves me a bit uneasy because obviously I've got no skin or blood in the game on this because I don't need them, but I can see similar things happening that maybe are aimed at men and only for men, that then our side of, where people have gone from men to female then say, well, you can't have that. And it's just that erosion of identity.
So the question you're asking is, where will it end? Where do
we have to draw the line to say enough is enough?
Yeah. Well, the other thing that I was just thinking about is, the fact that you've got, feminine shavers. Venus was obviously one of the ones that popped into my head that, like the lady shave and stuff like that. Is that going to be unacceptable? To be fair, personally, I'd rather use the men's ones because they're a little bit more robust
and cheaper.
And actually they do the job just as well, if not better. But still.
Because when it comes to like the pink packaging and the blue packaging, I stand behind all the arguments as to why that is inherently wrong.
What, just the colour of the packaging?
Just to say, pink, this is for you women. Blue, this is for you boys. No, boys and girls can have pink and blue, but it's still that gender identity through colour, which is only recent because it was actually the other way around. Back in I want to say the early 1900s. Just before the First World War.
All right.
Men were pink and girls were blue.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I mean, I hate pink anyway, so I'd rather have like a black one personally, or purple. Let's have purple. Purple and, pink and blue make purple, kind of.
And
mud. But, But, yeah, I think... it's a really tough one, but I just think some people just need to kind of leave things as they are. And if you want, as a transgender person, if you want to be accepted for who you are, then you need to accept
everyone,
and the products and stuff like that. It's again putting a label on things.
I know, and I think that's what's I think that's my central issue.
Yeah.
Is that everyone is expected to have a label.
Yeah.
It's like we're a species.
Yeah. I don't necessarily want a label. I mean, my name's a label, but, and I'm almost certain I have got many a label put on me.
Yeah.
But,
And it's not to downplay all of the prejudices that people see in their personal and professional lives because of anything, be it skin, race, religion, identity, whatever. And I don't know. I just want us to get to the end where actually none of this shit matters, and it's you're an arsehole because you are an arsehole.
Yeah, or you're a lovely person because you're a lovely person. Yeah.
Not because you are of this, and this.
Yeah. Was like my friend at work, she's got a little boy, 8, I think. And she's like, constantly she asks the question of, what have I brought him into? What kind of world is he going to grow up into?
Yeah.
But then I suppose it's going to be the norm for him. So it probably won't mean any difference, but.
Because we're breaking off into tribes. That's really what it is, isn't it? You've got different identity tribes and different types of tribes. Can we not just accept everything and just cohesively without having to identify camps of people?
Yeah, exactly. James, what's your kind of viewpoint?
I'm going to say, to be fair, I think it's going to be forever thus. You are right in the fact things are getting more tribal. with regard to pretty much everything, politics being the greatest example of it. Everything's becoming far more divisional. But it is ever thus. There's always been, the divisions in the way people are, the divisions in the way people feel. I think the biggest thing we're getting is that if you don't agree with a certain side, you are demonized. Really badly demonized. I will tread lightly, not say anything. But you are now seeing even more, I think, where it's becoming a problem, where people are feeling even more that you can't say anything for fear of offending somebody, or if you say anything, if you express a view, you will be, sort of ripped apart for saying something. And that is what really worries me more on these sort of things, that we're losing any ability to find middle ground and to be able to compromise on things. And too many times you've seen people shouted down for having an opinion that might be a little different than the norm. Be it left, be it right, be whatever. But they're made to feel that they either can express themselves, or if they do dare to express themselves, they're seen as being the complete bad guy on things. And
even if that is genuinely true, that somebody says something that society as a collective thinks is abhorrent, what I don't like is that remove it. That you shouldn't be doing. This has got to be hidden. It's like, no, that's the last thing you need to be doing, is to drive that viewpoint underground. You need to expose these people and let these people say these things in public, so as a collective society you can bring them around through reason and debate. But you drive it underground and you don't know what you're dealing with.
Yeah, but it's not even if it's saying necessarily a bad thing. The one that strangely popped into my mind was, I think perhaps I was listening through old TESD, but when Steve Martin had commented about Carrie Fisher dying, he'd been absolutely ripped apart on what, to me, didn't seem that he was being at all negative against her, but he then had to delete his tweet.
Yeah, he was saying goodbye to her friend, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So you get the keyboard warriors with their huffy puffy caps typing.
Yeah. Oh dear.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to sort of do.
Don't say sorry. I quite like that.
Yeah.
No need to say sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. So no, that was quite interesting because you were talking about gender. So yeah.
Yeah, but do you know that was actually one thing that I was going to say, is that this is kind of one thing that I do like about this podcast. And okay, yeah, maybe I'm big-headed because I like, whatever. But I like the fact that we have got the freedom to speak about whatever we want to speak about. And obviously I hope nobody's been offended by anything we've said, and I don't think anyone would. But, and it's quite nice because majority of the time the three of us have got the same viewpoint on things. But if we were to have a different viewpoint on something, this is kind of a good platform for us to kind of debate it out, Yeah. And at the end of the day, we're still going to be friends if we don't agree on something. Well, me and James will. No, I'm joking, Andy.
I'll be sulking in the corner.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you the big one, talking about that really, really I find very depressing, is this thing that if we're seeing ever more that it's going back to politics, but this strange thing that's now happening where there's this view seems to be that if you have a different political view to somebody, you can't be friends with them. But that's never been an issue for me. But that seems to be becoming ever more present. You can't, this very narrow-minded view that if you're not all of the same thought, it's going to be awful and you have to cut people off. Now that's probably the most narrow-minded daft thing you can do, because you will learn far more from listening to somebody who has a different view, somebody who has the same view. It's
very
strange.
The echo chamber.
Yeah, totally.
And it comes back to that tribe thing, isn't it? It's tribal.
Yeah.
You are of my tribe. You are left, you are right, you're centre.
Yeah.
You're this extreme, you're that extreme.
Yeah, and Andy, this question's sort of directed, both you and James, but more directed at you because I don't think James really is into football and things, but am I right in that?
You're correct, yeah. I'm not.
Yeah, so if you obviously you love Liverpool, and would that mean that you would only associate with people who are Liverpool fans?
My best friend of, how old am I? Of 40. So my best friend of 37 years, 33 years, is an Everton diehard supporter.
Exactly. So it's like, that kind of makes my point in a way. It's like, if people you know, like obviously football teams are quite a passion driven thing, you know, like politics can be for certain people, you know, but Marvel versus DC, you know, in our case, James, but you know, it's kind of like, and other things, obviously, but you know, it's kind of like the fact that, you know, life just goes on. You still can be friends with people and you still can get along with people just because they haven't got the same viewpoint as you.
And you see it on dating profiles, James.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know, Gemma, if you've seen it, but I know maybe it's more of a millennial thing, but it's like no Tories, no Labour, no Brexit, no Leave, you know, no Remainers. It's
To be fair, I haven't been on since all this is. I haven't really been going on that much, but yeah, personally I haven't seen that. So
yeah,
but I can believe that, and you're closing yourself off from stuff. And the greatest example I ever heard of the double standard of it is a woman on the radio, and she was basically going. I think she was from London, and she was basically sort of saying, I will never ever speak to somebody who is a Donald Trump supporter because they're all narrow-minded and closed off, and they just won't listen to anything else that anybody says. And I was sat in my car thinking, that's exactly what you're doing, lady.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm open to all suggestions. Let me rephrase that. I'm open. Ooh, missus. There's my ex.
Too late's in the post.
Episode title: I'm open to all suggestions.
Yes.
Yeah, but no, I'm open to all ideas and viewpoints and things like that. You know, like if I'm going to believe them all, no, not necessarily. I probably won't believe 50% of them, but you know, still everybody is allowed.
Yeah, it's as long as you are not a dick.
Yeah,
we'll get on all right, and if you're not a dick to others, we'll get on all right.
Yeah, and if you are a dick, you get a punch in the face. Sols.
Yeah. Or I just don't talk to you.
No, punch in the face first. Come on now.
Yeah. No, I'm a pacifist, man.
Said like the true stoner.
Yeah. It says hack them off at their legs for fly tipping.
Yeah. Don't need those negative vibes.
Yeah. You know, it's sweat the small stuff, and it's just like, you know, if you had to go through and audit people's opinions,
oh God,
you're not having much fun in life, are you?
No.
You know, but slightly moving away from that serious topic, I saw something that did tickle me this week, actually.
Okay. Yes, let's say
that
happy note.
Yeah, you know that god-awful trend of the gender reveal party?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Have you seen what the patient zero will call them, or, you know, the first person to do that, what her views are on it?
No.
She hates it, maybe?
Yeah, she hates it. She thinks it's toxic, and it's distorting the whole process of pregnancy and the toxicity of gender identity. And it was quite an interesting little piece. She's apparently written a book about it all, but yeah, she absolutely regrets doing that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So starting a trend, and yeah.
Well, she said she would celebrate anything. It was like a pet goldfish birthday, so she baked a cake. You know, she's one of these naturally
fun-loving kind of person.
Yeah, annoying people.
Special.
And
Special.
what she said was that basically her sister or sister-in-law had just given birth at the same time that she then fell pregnant. So the whole baby thing had kind of worn a bit thin with the family. So to kind of G them back up for her pregnancy, she just thought, oh, why don't I just do this quirky little thing?
Yeah.
And she said she was amazed that it exploded into this thing, although she could probably said, you know, if I hadn't done it, somebody else would have done, because that's where society was going. But no, it was quite interesting.
Yeah.
It tickled me that she thought it was toxic.
That is quite funny, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. Beep, 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 cul-de-sac, beep.
You can always tell when I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to say next, because I'm like, yeah.
It's James with the weather.
Talking about the weather, actually. Cause yesterday.
How British of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, because thank you. That was a good segue. You didn't know what I was about to say, but it reminded me. I don't know if you guys knew or saw, but at 11:30 yesterday, in the evening, there was a meteor shower. Sorry.
A meteor shower.
A meteor.
Meteor.
Yeah. And, I sadly didn't see anything. I kind of saw a few bits and pieces sort of moving around, but it wasn't quite dark enough. But typically, when I first looked out.
So the earth didn't move for you then?
No, sadly not. And also, do you know what really pissed me off? It was that the neighbour at the bottom of our garden, because like out the back of our garden is pretty dark. There's no natural sort of streetlights or anything like that, really. Natural streetlights? That's not right.
Yeah. That's true. There is no such thing as natural street lighting.
Yeah.
And here in the wild, we see two street lamps mating, having done their ritual mating dance.
Check out the afterglow.
Yeah. Notice how they can't decouple for a good 30 minutes afterwards.
Well, I'm glad I said that now. But no, our neighbour at the end of the garden, so some we don't speak to or anything, had their bathroom light on. And their bathroom light was so bright that we were like, I can't see the sky. But
what have they got? A Heathrow landing light in there?
Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, it was the brightest light in the world. And if it's like it tonight, I'll take a photo.
That's a really good idea. Take a photo of someone's bathroom. See how well that turns out.
Is that the police?
Next morning.
There's someone strange taking pictures of my bathroom window from her bedroom.
No, I can't see it. I've got a brick walls of you. Come on, Andy. You know better than that. But anyway, but actually, like a couple of hours before 11:30, sort of we kept looking up at the sky and we're like, oh, bloody typical. Something awesome that we could possibly see. And it was cloudy.
Yeah, you're in the UK. What do you expect?
I know. Yeah.
I didn't even know it was happening. So is this one of these sort of multi-100-year events?
Possibly, yeah. I didn't know until my mum mentioned it yesterday evening. So, yeah, it was obviously, I think it was Halley's Comet had blown up or something.
I actually wish I'd looked for that, because where I am is really, really good. If it's, I'm obviously out in you get brilliant stars.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I suppose, up in the moors, all that wind blows all the clouds away.
Yeah, unlike what you said last time, about the weather being shit, Andy.
Yeah. We get this one rare day of perfect weather, and the meteor shower comes in.
We have to enjoy it. Then we sacrifice a goat.
Yeah, we'll pay the shaman his sheep blood.
But no, I would love to be in the countryside at times for that reason. To be able to see that many stars and but actually, because I don't know if it happens where you guys live, but at midnight, all streetlights go off in Weymouth?
Not in my estate.
No, they don't here, because we're on the main LED things.
Sorry, Andy, say again.
Sorry, James. No, James.
James, say again then.
Okay, no, I was just saying I don't think they go off here, because I think we're on like LED lighting or something. It's really bright, strong stuff we've got.
Okay.
But
I know in my county, they do turn like the motorways and some of the main A roads off between
they go off
and 5 a.m. But when I was in Northamptonshire, they had a really, really good concept, which some people liked, some people didn't. And what they would do is, even if they were LED lights, they would turn every other lamp off, and then they removed it after a while. So they spaced out the light, and it reduced the light pollution overall. I mean, it was a little bit more gloomy on the street, but you know.
Well, that's because literally all of Weymouth, well, obviously if the clocks change, it depends what time it is. It's majority of the time it's midnight though.
Yeah.
But the lights all go off, and it's like, in some ways it's horrible because we've got 3 prisons in the area. Not great, so you kind of want to have, a bit of protection, but also the road that I live on, there's a lot of pensioners. And, for their safety, and also like, burglars and things like that, you kind of want to have, you want to have that bit of safety.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But I'd be quite happy to throw Doris under the bus to save a few polar bears, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, Gemma, it's getting winter time, dark, pensioners. It's a dodgy time for them anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
and this housing stock, how are generations below us, or even on our generation, supposed to get onto the housing ladder if these bloody old people keep clinging on for dear life?
Baby boomers.
To life, yeah.
Or in fact, me.
That's what I said, our generation,
Yeah.
says he already on the property ladder.
That's what I meant, because I'm literally the only person here who hasn't got their own house. But my point anyway about the lights going out was that it's really nice because like when the lights go out, it's almost like the sky lights up, because you can literally, if it's a really clear night, you can see almost every single star. And it's amazing. So
I'm a big advocate for it. I was even tempted to do a "Dear Sir, please may I have the lights turned off on my estate after midnight," or at least do something to reduce the light pollution, because it's just not needed. Not many people. It's a waste of money and everything else to have the lights on for what if it may be that maybe 3 people will be out at
Yeah. But then the other side of it, going back to the original conversation of somebody getting stabbed and shot recently in five streets away from you, it might be worth having those lights on.
Well, the lights weren't that helpful being on to prevent it in the first place. So
no, I suppose.
And actually, on that particular one, I'm not bothered by it because, by all accounts, it's basically a feud.
Domestic sort of thing.
Either a domestic feud or it's gang related at a, not a street gang level, but, drugs or whatever. Until the police have done their investigation. But at the end of the day, I'm not battening down the hatches. I'm not keeping the cats in.
Not even one of them. Oh yeah, talking about cats. Let's try and end on a happier note.
Levi, my big bully.
Yeah.
On a fluffy
is he allowed
note.
back out yet?
Yeah, I let him out after 2 days. Yeah, it wasn't fair on Lacey to ground them both. No. And to be honest, even my neighbour, she was like, it's not, you can't stop them unless she changes her cat fat to a chip one, which she's done.
Yeah.
So no, my little tiger slug is quite the beast.
Yeah. So he's allowed out. He's allowed to go and beat up other cats
and get beaten up by the bigger cat than him. So he's not the kingpin that everyone thinks he's. It's because on Sunday I had the window open and I'm watching TV and I just hear this. Oh, what's up with you? I look out and there's the big cat Benji, who's basically a mountain lion. Looking up at both of us, going, "What? So I had to open the window wider for him to sort of think, oh, actually, no, he's going to chase me. He buggered off.
Yeah.
So, Levi gets bullied, but he's just a bigger bully to the other cats.
Yeah.
Little arsehole.
It's about...
The thing is, he's 2, so he's doing his little pecking order thing. And that's I'm just the embarrassed dad going, honestly, I'm not raising chavs here.
Levi's walking around with a hood up.
Yeah, that's it. Lacey's off down, let's say, pets at home, shoplifting, and then going out clubbing all night.
She's pregnant. She's had the snip, but she's pregnant still.
Yeah. Honestly, I call her a little bowling ball with legs because she went trotting down the stairs leading me down for food, and it was like, literally was a bowling ball. And like, you've got a second home here, love. So I got her a collar with says, please don't feed me.
Yeah.
No word of a lie. She was inside for about 20 minutes. She went out for an hour, came back, and it magically disappeared, Daddy. I don't know what happened. And that's the second collar that she's had off in a week. So it's, so I need to, I was thinking, this is a question I was going to ask you and the listeners.
Okay.
Is it unethical for me to shave, please do not feed, into my cats? I mean, I'm doing them a favour.
I mean, no. Because you're only shaving.
Yeah, it's not like I'm tattooing.
I would like to see you pull that off. I would like to see you try and shave a cat. It's a bit like someone washing a cat.
Yeah, I just wondered, because if it wasn't unethical, it would save me a bit of money having to keep putting collars that I know are piling up somewhere.
Yeah.
And also, would I look strange peering into bushes trying to find her collars?
Yes.
Yes, that's
You'd
definitely.
look like, you know
yes.
how Gemma looks like a peeping Tom looking through someone's bathroom window?
Yeah.
Look even worse. There's some pervert hanging.
Excuse me, your light's a bit bright.
I kind of need to paint the picture, I think. My garden is huge.
I know you said you don't escape.
Yeah.
That's
what they all say.
Bird's eye occasionally. You see this rustling in your underwear. It's Captain's Bird's eye. Wow.
Oh. And that's why I need the men's shavers.
Yeah. Anything tough enough.
I'm for penis.
Oh dear.
Oh God, on that note, I think we've been talking enough Codswallop this week.
What, are you going to say something?
On that bombshell.
Yeah.
Me?
Justifying your lack of peeping Tomness.
Oh yeah, I was.
Yeah.
No.
I'm not a peeping Tom. Yeah.
Yeah, she can't defend herself.
Yeah.
It was just the fact that our garden is absolutely huge. So it's like, you know, if I was to take a photo, we have got, I don't know.
Go measure it now.
Yeah.
Tap, tap, tap. Hold that for me, please.
Yeah, we'll wait.
Yeah. Pull it tighter.
Go to his window. Can you just hold that, please?
It is a huge garden. Anyway, so if I was to take a photo, they wouldn't know that I was taking a photo. Okay.
That's what they all say.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But yeah. So I don't think that bit needs to stay in, really, does it? It's a bit boring.
This is so you don't get arrested anyway.
Yeah. On that note, I think we've been talking enough Codswallop this week. I have been Gemma.
I've been James.
I've been Andy.
We're all very disturbed.
Ta-ta! So, Graham, let's see what gif you can make out of this week's episode, because you had me laughing last week.